this is where I keep what I'm calling my creative commonplace book. It is essentially just a bit of a hybrid between a junk journal insert full of all different papers that I do bits of collecting quotes and doodling and collage. So maybe it's an art journal, but I'm also just randomly adding quotes in here, as you can see, and also bits that I've saved from cutouts of books and things. So that's kind of why I've called it a creative commonplace, because I'm really just adding lots of different quotes and notes and things within here. And so I'm feeling a little bit stuck creatively in terms of where to go next on some of my projects, and so I thought that this would be the best place to turn to. So I have all sorts on my desk right now. I have some books that I want to jot down some quotes for, and I think the good thing about a system like this is that I can sort of jump around and, you know, work within the different blank spaces, or just like the negative space that I've got, because there isn't really like a blank page to turn to. Like even when I come to these pages that I haven't done necessarily a lot of collage on, there's still text and things to respond to. And I've even been picking out things from torn pages. There was a piece of text here and I've kind of crossed out the bits that I didn't want and then left artists and their searching, which I just thought was really interesting. So it's kind of like just a collection of things I find interesting. So I thought we could do some creative commonplacing, as I'm calling it, together. And it's basically just a combination of, in my mind, like a Pinterest board, like a physical, like, you know, old school mood board of like things you find interesting. So there might come times where I actually like print things out and stick them in here. And then also the traditional commonplace book in terms of quotes and things, but I'm just like writing them in amongst all my doodles. So that's kind of why I'm calling it like a creative commonplace book. And I have all sorts of stuff around me right now. I have a few books that I want to jot down some of the quotes that I found interesting. I've got like a whole bunch of pens here that I'm going to be using. Well, not like all of them, but I like to have a selection. I've even got my pencil case in here that's got more pens in it. I haven't got a shortage of different pens, but it's just nice to have like different colors and stuff. I'm really obsessed with using pink pens for some reason. I love these two pens I got from, I want to say Kenji, if you're in the UK. But they're just like a standard like hot pink gel ink pen, and so yeah, I love using them just as a contrast to the neutrals that I have going on in my journals. So I've got those, I've got brush markers, and I've got like different like line weights as well, so like 0.5s or 0.1, just depending on the page that I'm working on. So yeah, got a bunch of different pens here, and I've also got some sticky notes here, just some like plain ones, and patterns, some stickers. I basically just pulled out everything that I thought I might want to throw at this journal. I've also got some stamps as well. I thought it would be really nice to maybe do some stamping on the post-it notes perhaps, and then add those in. I really love this typewriter stamp. Now, I picked this up from the swap table at Stationery Fest. Someone was really generous and popped this on the table like completely brand new, unused, but I'm not sure where it's from, and the label, I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera, is super tiny, and I can't quite make out where it's from or the little signature here. So if your eyes are good enough and you can see this, or you can recognize the brand, please let me know, because I really love this and I'm curious if there are like any other similar designs to this, because I just think it's so sweet. I thought it would be perfect on this pink post-it note here, so let's just do that now. Actually, I haven't used it, but I'm gonna hope that it actually stamps well. It seems to be quite like a crisp design, which I think is nice. So let's see how this goes. Make sure I do it on a flat surface, because I always end up doing it on something that isn't flat. Yeah, I think that's perfect for this commonplace book. So I think I'm going to stick it maybe in the middle here, just because this part of the page I've got like masking tape and a little bit of paint, so I'm not too worried about covering it up because I wouldn't really have been able to write over it anyway. But I am going to try and ever so gently peel up these flowers so I can tuck it underneath, which is such a classic thing for me to do in my journals. If you've been here a while, you know that me sticking something down and then peeling it back up is a common thing, and luckily I've never managed to really do too much damage to what's already been glued down so far. So let's maybe put this around about there. Let me just grab my glue stick so I can pop that down. I really like the pink against the blue here. I feel like it's just the right amount of like nice like soft color palette, not like too bright, but still complements the neutrals. And now that gives me a nice little space to write on. So even though this was quite a busy background, I've kind of created like a blank space, if you will, to write onto it. So I'm either thinking just a plain like regular black pen, or I have this zebra sarasa, which is a really nice color, so that could complement the pink quite nicely. And yes, like I said, I've got a few different books out that I wanted to jot down some quotes. So as I've been reading this book recently, the Book of Alchemy, which is one of those books that you can definitely like dip in and out of. It's just a collection of 100 essays by different writers, and then there's like a journaling prompt at the end of each one. So I mean, you could totally like read these little essays and then maybe do some of that writing in there. I'm doing those in a just like a separate like random notebook, just so it's separate from my more like creative stuff. But as I've been going through it, I have been underlining a few different bits just in pencil. You know, these are my books, so I can do with them what I want. I know some people don't like to write in their books. It doesn't faze me, especially when it's my book. If it wasn't my book, I'd maybe use like obviously post-it notes, but you know, underlining in pencil and things and jotting in the margins, I just think it's a nice way to like interact with books a bit more. So yeah, I've just been like underlining a few different quotes as I've been going through, and this is a bit meta because this is like about journaling, so I'm going to be adding in writing about journaling. So I wanted to jot down a few of these quotes just so that I have them to hand, and I suppose then I'm almost thinking like I can use this book as maybe like a bit of a reference point almost, and like a collection of quotes, because you know it's so easy to collect or like save things digitally, you know, if you're on like Instagram or Pinterest and things. And like, let's be honest, how often do you like regularly go back to the things that you saved on Instagram, like those really inspirational like quote posts? So that's why I'm trying to jot them down like in here more, especially as I've been like compiling the newsletter I've been sending out as well, like jotting things down in here. I've been adding like notes in like an actual notebook, which I know sounds funny because obviously like I love notebooks and journals and things, but like being in the actual practice of writing things down, I've been doing that a lot more this year. And obviously it's like not that interesting for me to just like show you me writing things, so that's why I wasn't sure about this creative commonplacing journal as more of like a series, but we'll see. Let me know what you think. kind of realized I wrote myself into a little bit of a corner here, so I've just decided to add the attribution here at the top, which I think kind of fits anyway with the typewriter. And so I've done a mix there of just the Zebra Sarasa pen, and then this is a Tombow Fudenosuke, and this is, I think, my all-time favorite pen. I absolutely love writing with this and doing a bit of brush lettering. Nothing fancy, just my handwriting, but a bit fancier because it's in a brush pen, I suppose. I'm not going to call it calligraphy because I am far from a calligrapher, but yeah, I love using that pen. I feel like even if you don't like your handwriting that much, it just makes it look a little bit fancier when you have a brush pen doing the different line weights. Let's maybe add, I'm thinking, I was going to start adding stamping here, and I'm like, I think that might be too much. So maybe I will add, I don't know, maybe I'll add some stickers. I just have like a whole bunch in this little pouch here. Oh, and I also have my sticker book here. So this is a bit of a DIY situation. So this is one of those sticker release books that you can get from Travelers Company. This is in the passport size. I just used a corner rounder just to round the corners, and so yeah, I just have like a bunch of loose stickers and like PET tapes, and I've also added ones like in here on the different pages, so I've just like emptied a sticker sheet almost just to save space, and I've got them then to hand. Even more in the back here, like a whole bunch of different ones that I really need to organize a bit better. So let's maybe add one of these. So this is actually, I got these on, they're like a washi tape but stickers from Cult Pens, I want to say. But the only thing is, like, if I want to use like a pink one, for example, you have to like peel all of the different ones to get to the color you want. So what I found was the easiest thing to do was actually to every now and then like peel off a bunch of them, add them to this sticker book, and then I can just pick the color I want. I just want to fill some of these blank spaces, but without taking up too much. Like, I don't want it to look too busy, if you know what I mean. I've realised that I've added this quote in a little bit larger than what I've done over on this side, but I think I'm just sort of conscious of the fact that when I started writing with this pen, it wasn't as, like, it's not showing up as much as I thought it would. I don't know how it's looking on camera. I can still read it, but it's not as much of a contrast as I thought it was going to be, but I'd started writing and too late at that point. I just had to commit. So I've included that a little bit larger, and something that I like to do in my journals if I do add writing is to also like underline certain bits, which I think helps to sort of bring out the different things that maybe I was particularly drawn to when I read the quote. So let's see, I think there's still space for some writing up here. You'll notice that's what I've been doing in these pages. Like, I've done some writing here, but there's definitely still space for something else here, and I'm wondering if maybe it just needs, like, I don't know, like a post-it note or something just to maybe help with the contrast that we've got going on, because it's going to be hard to write over that otherwise. And maybe if I just added that with washi tape, then I'd still be able to obviously lift and read what's under there. Do you know what? Maybe I'll just add that whilst I'm thinking about it. So let's see which washi tape. I love the way that I put these on the little cards, like nothing revolutionary, but I just put them on a little ring here. And one of my favorite things about doing this has actually been the fact that I can kind of like hold them up like just really easily like this and just see what matches a page. So that's been really fun, and kind of want something that's gonna contrast a little bit but not too much. Maybe the green, or maybe a pink, or maybe the blue. Do you know what? I'm actually going to do this little bow one. I think this is by, I want to say BGM. I think it's one of my favorite washi tapes, especially with the gold foiling on it as well. It's just so sweet. So let's add this, and yeah, so I'm not bothered too much that it's like it's covering this up, but also it's not, because it's only going to be washi taped, so we will still be able to lift it up and see what's underneath. So let's go for that, and I think that helps. Yeah, sorry, I've got distracted there. So basically what I was trying to say is that I've been adding like in between all the different spaces, so there's still places on other pages where I've got to add things in. So like I'll probably add something maybe on this tag, and then also up here. So there's like 2 spaces to add things here. I've still got space up here. I'm thinking maybe like a bold, like hand lettered quote. I wonder if there's anything from, I pulled Austin Kleon's Still Like an Artist off the shelf, because I knew that I had some things that I'd underlined in here. In fact, I've just turned to this bit, and he said, "You are in fact a mashup of what you choose to let into your life." That's really good. I think that sums up this book quite well. So maybe let's add that with the Tombow brush mark. And what I think I'm going to do to match the quote is do these in some stamped letters. Now, if you're panicking and wondering why on earth my little stamps are so disorganized like this, I promise they're not normally, but I opened them the other day and dropped them, and they went everywhere, and I just was not in the mood to sort through them, so I just sort of squished them back in the box. So I definitely need to reorder them, because it's going to make looking for the different letters even more confusing when they're not in alphabetical order. So yeah, I need to reorganize these, but I keep forgetting, and then when I come to use them I'm like, oh, I don't really want to organize them now, I just want to do the stamping in my journal. So yeah, that's why they are so disorganized at the moment, but I've managed to find the letters pretty okay there, so that's not too bad. But yeah, I really like doing that sometimes, is just to have like a mix and match of different fonts, by having things like either handwritten and then stamped, or handwritten and a typewriter. That's one I've done quite a few times as well. This journal is definitely going to be on the busier side, but I really like the way that all the different creative elements are coming together. It's not just me writing out quotes, which I do really enjoy documenting those, but if you are someone who has maybe been wanting to keep a record or keep like a little collection of quotes, but just writing them longhand in a black and white notebook isn't that exciting to you, then maybe something like this that you can dip in and out of might be something you want to try, like especially because I've got different ways of collecting things here as well. So things that I've just jotted down, and also the cut out words and phrases. So yeah, it's almost a reference book of things that I like and things that I've been exploring, with the little bits that are pasted in. So maybe we'll do another session where I might, I don't know, print out some more visual stuff, and go for that like Pinterest type of vibe as well. That's how I'm using it. So I hope you enjoyed joining me for this, and I will see you in the next one.